Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bourbon Bites, whiskey reviews with a gaming twist. I'm Clifton, and today we have a brand new product that I'm so excited to finally review and try for you guys. So, if you saw the thumbnail and the title, you know we are reviewing Thomas S. More finished bourbons. Now, this is a new line from Barton 1792. It was just announced in December, I believe. They were gracious enough, or I guess I am gracious. They were generous enough. That's the word. They were generous enough to offer me some media samples here tonight. So I get to taste them for you guys before any of us, I think, has seen them on the shelves. I am curious though, have any of you seen them? Because I have not. I actually have seen very little about these whiskeys other than the people that have gotten media samples. I know Fred Minnick did them. I know Perry did them, who is in the chat here. Welcome, Perry. But I don't think I haven't seen them on the shelves. I know it's going to be a pretty limited product. But yeah, I'm not sure how widely available, if available at all, they are yet. So first of all, I do want to give us some shout outs to our mods here in the chat, Brandon and Trev Wilson. Always good to have you guys join us for this Thursday night stream. Y'all are awesome. Of course, some Patreon shout outs too. Got to give a shout out to Adriana, Wesley Zeller. Who do I see earlier? Lil Morgan. What's up, Lil? Perry, of course. Perry's a patron. Steven Sussman. He is a bourbon megabyte. And Patrick Starkey, our bourbon gigabyte. Now, I do want to announce, I got myself a bourbon daddy. So, those of you that follow me on Patreon know that my top tier on Patreon is Bourbon Daddy. And y'all, I got me a daddy on Saturday. Of course, I'm sure it's all in good jest. My good friend Aaron Blum, who has been in the chat here before, he's been on Hangouts before, he actually decided to become my top tier patron just to get Brandon to drink some Malort. So he's getting all those perks this month. He gets private chat with me as if he didn't already have that because he's a friend. But he gets a shout out in all my videos. So cheers to my bourbon daddy now. I would like to cheers him with a glass of wine here. As y'all know, I'm a little bit of a wine sommelier. I call myself a bit. I am very fond of cabs. What I'm drinking here tonight is actually a wine from Chile. It was imported by California. It's very, very exclusive. You guys probably haven't heard of this one. It's just really, it's kind of only well known in the wine sommelier community. It's called Franzia. Like I said, you guys probably haven't heard of it, but yeah, it's really, really, really nice, very, very smooth, and really, really great Cabernet. If you didn't get it, that was obviously a joke. I am not a wine sommelier by any means. I drink cheap wine, but I figured it was a pretty appropriate start to a wine finished whiskey stream. Why not have some cab to start us off? So I see lots of other people in the chat too. I did give a Patreon shout out, but of course I want to shout out my regulars, Cheech and Jen Artolino, Zopher, who is a patron, Sugar Kitty, who's also a patron, Babes of Bourbon. I saw you guys. I think you guys. This may be your first stream joining. But I saw your comment the other day. Thank you for joining. Glad to have you here. Mash and Drone, what's up? He did an awesome stream last night with Fred Minnick, who I mentioned earlier, and then they did a stream on Fred's channel the day before. So if you missed that, really, really cool stuff. You got to go check out that stream. So much fun. Oh, Emily Chambers, what's up, Emily? So I think I got some shout outs. Peter White. I think there's a lot of y'all here tonight. Bubble Bath Bourbon, another awesome channel. Go check out his channel. And the Linux guy, another mod here. And Fred, wow, y'all are all popping in right at the moment. Now, Perry is saying now you'll only be able to taste the bourbon. I will say, I just took a couple sips of this. I had this with dinner. I've since cleansed my palate a bit. Don't worry. It's not one that lingers on the palate very long. I'll tell you that. But, so, I am very excited to try these. I am actually most excited for the Chardonnay because that's a finish that I really don't know how that's going to affect the whiskey at all. I'm very excited to see how that works. I have had port finish up. I've had some cab stuff. Not necessarily, I don't think I've had any bourbons that are Cabernet finished. I've had some Australian whiskey that's Cabernet finished. But, yeah, so, what's up, Two Dudes in a Brew podcast? Sorry it's been so long, but we're here. No worries. Check out their podcast. They have a really fun stream where they talk about like all different types of topics, like conspiracy theories and stuff, and drink beers. So definitely check them out. Trev Wilson, thank you so much. He said hit that like button on your way in. Welcome, friends. And as always, as we do every Thursday night, well, almost every Thursday night, we are having our after party for patrons only over on the Discord channel. So if you want to become a patron, you can become a patron for as little as $2 a month. I put the link over there in the chat. just kind of pinned at the top. But of course, if you want to join our after party hangout, that is for people $10 and up, Bourbon Megabytes. But we're also going to be doing our monthly Patreon hangout for everyone $5 and up, probably not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. So lots of really fun stuff coming up. If you are a patron, you know about some upcoming streams. Some really ones. I actually have some real guests joining me. It's not just me by myself in my living room. So the one that most of you guys probably have already seen the event page, but I am having Chris Fredrickson from Traverse City Whiskey Company. He's a co-founder and distiller there. He is going to be on next Thursday. Now, I mentioned it now and I created the event early because we're going to do it 3 hours earlier than we normally do our streams on Thursday. So hopefully a lot of you guys can make it. I know it's a weird time. I know I'm gonna have to take like a half day for work, but I really would love if you guys could show up for that. First time having a distillery rep on my channel, so show him some love. Definitely would help out, get some more. We do have some really other awesome ones coming up soon. I only told patrons about that, so if you want to know about those, check out Patreon. So, so let's go ahead and, so I did want to start, before I jump into these new whiskeys, I need to familiarize myself with 1792 Barton. So I do have a sample left over of my bottled in bond from them. Now this is a different mash bill, I believe. I believe these new releases are, a high rye mash bill, according to the press release they sent out. They do say that they are where did we go? Yeah, their signature high rye bourbon is aged for many years, so it's not an age statement, in new charred oak barrels before filling other casks that previously matured various wines or spirits from around the world. Now, the really cool thing about this one is this is like the first big line from 1792 from Barton, at least that I'm aware of. I mean, I know that some of the 1792 releases have been pretty hard to find, but this is their first what they call ultra premium line. And it's not just a one-time thing. They're planning to release different Thomas S. More releases throughout it's going to be like a once-a-year release in the fall. So this one came out in December, a little late, but 2020. Although 2021's not off to the best start either. So we'll see. But the plan is to release new finishes every fall. So keep an eye out on this one. I think this one's going to get really popular. But like I said, I do want to pour some 1792 to start out and ask you guys, what are y'all drinking? I know Perry had his stream earlier today, followed by the Rock Gut Reviews. I think there's a lot of people streaming tonight. Have you guys noticed that? So I imagine all of our numbers are a bit down because people are a bit spread pretty thin tonight. Really cool to see other new channels pop up. And I know the struggle. Like there's so many different channels that go live at the same time. So never feel, bad that you can't make it. If you can't make it, I would love if you could come catch the replay. Which, by the way, if you're watching the replay, #replay squad down below. Let me know you're here, and feel free to comment on any of the stream too. You don't have to just say replay squad. I mean, you can, but feel free to comment. I check all my comments. I respond to as many of them as possible. So, so let's go ahead and pour the 1792. What are y'all drinking? Let's see what you guys got. Anything fun in your glasses? I know Perry was doing a little mini hangout earlier, so y'all may be doing some bottle chugs already. We'll see. Aloha, Don Nishida. Don actually has, I'm not going to tell you guys, again, patrons only, he's working on introducing me to a really awesome person in Hawaii to join me for a stream. She does cocktail kits. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, but coming soon. So literally the rest of January is filled with awesome streams. So if y'all not subscribed yet, I would absolutely love if you could subscribe, and definitely hit the bell button only so you'll be notified like when I do go weird live times like next Thursday. I'd love you to hit the bell button too, and that like button. I know Trev said earlier. How many likes are we at? You guys tell me what number, because I can't see it on my StreamYard, but hopefully we're at a good amount. Perry says they're doing a watch party. Oh, so y'all are like hanging out while you're watching. Well, thank y'all. I wish I could be there. I'll be there. Well, hopefully y'all will join me over on my Discord after party. For those of you that are patrons, but good that you have some pregame going on there, Perry. So. So Patrick is drinking a Knob Creek rye pick. Actually, funny story, Patrick. I actually had one of those at the back of my cabinet that I'd forgotten about, and I actually pulled it out about 2 nights ago. I was really, really impressed. I'm almost out of my Pikesville, which has been my like mixing rye. But I'm gonna switch to Knob Creek once I finish that Pikesville, because I've made some really incredible, mostly Manhattans with Knob Creek rye, but it's really, really good. 27 likes, 26 likes, 30 people watching. Oh man, y'all are awesome. Almost all y'all have hit the like button, and of course Donnie giving the promo there. Appreciate you so much, Donnie. Yeah, so let me familiarize myself. Now, I really haven't had too much 1792 on my channel. It wasn't until recently I had a really, really good foolproof 1792 pick that really made me realize that I need to revisit this brand. So, like I said, this is my leftover from my bottle and bond. I've had this forever. But the reason I saved it is for streams like tonight, where it's beneficial for me to get a flavor profile of what Barton puts out with their not premium stuff, but their more top tier stuff compared to. I did have the very old Barton 100 proof. I was like, I could bring that out, but I'm like, you know what? This is probably more similar to what goes into the Thomas S. Moore. So let's go ahead and give this a nose. Now it does give me a little bit of the banana, which y'all know banana is a note that I'm not 100% fond of. Well, I need to move that over off my face. First super chat of the night. By the way, I forgot to mention, you guys, if you guys don't want to commit to Patreon, I don't blame you. It's a weird time right now, but you can always support the channel with just one click of the button and send a super chat, like our good buddy Steven Sussman just did, and he let us know that he is drinking a 10-year Elijah Craig store pick. That's awesome. I actually just picked up a 12-year pick. It's been a while. I actually hadn't seen them for so long, but our store just got some new 12-year picks, and they're calling them the quarantine picks because they did them without going to the distillery. So that's awesome. So Donnie says, I had some Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye and Whistle Pig 12-year-old. Oh, wow. That's really, really cool. So Brandon says, didn't I leave you this sample? Brandon, you may actually have. I couldn't remember if you left me this or it was because I did have a bottle of this before. I couldn't remember if I had saved a sample of it, but I did. So this may be yours. I noticed it was my label, though. That's why I assumed it was mine. But you're right. You probably did that. So yeah, thank you to Brandon for this sample. Yeah, so it's still got some funk on the nose, but there is a baked element to it. It's not necessarily just like a funky banana, not like a Runts banana. It is like a banana bread on the nose. So let's go and give it a try. Cheers, guys. Ooh, it's hot, but you know what? I think something packed with that much flavor deserves that kind of heat. What's up, Stevens? Steven's just killing it tonight. ECBP Chug Fund. Also, keep it on your face. Oh, man, I missed it. I should have read that. Okay, next super chat will be dead center, planet right on my face. Not necessarily you, Steven. Everyone. Or if anyone decides to become a patron tonight, you should have a zombie pop up on my face. So, yeah, I mean, this, I will say the foolproof I do enjoy a good bit more than the bottled and bond. The bottled and bond hinges on that artificial banana, whereas the foolproof is like a full-on baked banana nut bread, and I really like that. This one's a little artificial. Now, this is just the 1792. Now, I don't know if that's going to carry through with the Thomas S. Moore. Like I said, those are a high rye mash bill, but I did want to just set the palate a bit with this one here. So Brandon says he really enjoys the 1792 bottle and bond. Had to pick up another bottle. Well, yeah, no, that's I really see why. I mean, it's not. I still think I should have shared my foolproof pick with you, Brandon. When I come over to your place end of the month, if we're doing the little get together thing, I'll bring my foolproof pick because it's very, very good. I think you know that I had a bad foolproof pick that you and everyone else judged me, saying like, don't judge 1792 foolproof because of your bad pick. Well, y'all were right, because I got a really good pick that I really want to share with you whenever we see each other again. So, what's up, Wheels? Wheels just had a birthday and had some really cool vintage pours at a bar near him. So, welcome, Wheels. And the Raw Guy Review. What's up, man? I had to type out from your stream because I always have to eat dinner really quick before my stream. But I enjoyed what I saw of the samples you guys were doing. Yeah, I need to do a sample shootout stream soon because I literally have samples overtaking my coffee cart over here. It's a bit ridiculous. So got to get rid of some of those samples though. But so okay, we are ready. I think we're about ready to move on to. Let me go ahead and finish this and let's move on to the first of the Thomas S. Moores. Because I know I'm very curious to try these. Like I said, I have not had any of these. I did a little tiny pour of the Thomas S. Moore, the Cabernet, but just enough to make sure that I could still taste it after this wine. Because I already had that thought that Perry mentioned earlier. It's like, surely he's not going to be able to taste this whiskey after drinking wine. But again, only a few sips. It's for the show. I did it for the show. All right, so let's go ahead and move to the very first Thomas S. Moore. Now, they're all released. I'll show you guys the bottles real quick. If you saw the thumbnail, but let me show you guys again. So, like I said, these are really, really nice bottles. I really love the look of them. The first one is the Cabernet. I'll try to zoom in. I don't know if this might look a little weird, but I'm trying to zoom in on it. Nah, it's probably not the best way to do it. Oh well, we'll try. All right, the first we're doing is the Cabernet, which is the one here on the left. Now this one is you probably can't see the proof, but let me just go back to me. I try to do that. Okay, so this one is 47.65% ABV, so 95.3 proof. And all it says on this label is extended cask finish. Now I notice they really like that phrase, extended cask finish, and I think that's what they're sticking with for this one. Um, First of all, they said it's their ultra premium brand, but now it's their extended cask finish. Now I do have some more info about each of these, but let me go ahead and pour this in the glass so maybe it can open up a bit. By the way, I hope you all are having a great day today. I know tensions are high just across the country. Hopefully today's been a bit calmer for you. I know for me, I was worried, but actually I've been pretty peaceful today, just knowing hey, I got myself, got my friends, and I got you guys. So, again, not to talk politics, but I think for everyone, tensions were really high yesterday. So hopefully none of us said anything that we regret, because I almost said some things I regretted, just with group chats and stuff. But just really thankful for you guys. And you know what? The year's off to a bad start, but that doesn't mean we can't make it our best year yet. So with that, this Thomas S. Moore. So Thomas S. Moore was actually the person that started the Barton Distillery. I actually was not aware of this. In 1889, he built the distillery that's now known as Barton. He was an early pioneer in Bardstown, recognized today as the bourbon capital of the world, which y'all all know that stuff. I'll skip all the fluff. But the distillery was forced to close with Prohibition. But this is actually the namesake to honor their legacy, which I think is really cool. So now, like I said, they use the term extended cask finished. So these are, they're not just put in the barrel just for a little bit. They are literally, I'll have some info here shortly on how long these are actually finished. Or maybe I don't. Maybe that was actually, y'all check out Fred Minnick's stream. He may have had some info that I didn't have about how old, how long it's set in the cask. I do know that this is about a 5 to 6 year old bourbon, and then it sits in the cask for an additional 1 to 3 years. So that's the info I know. Fred Minnick may have had a little bit more info on that. So definitely, after you watch this, go check out his, like I said, he probably has a little bit more of insider knowledge than I do. So let's go ahead and, sorry, I was catching up with the chat. I missed some of what you guys are saying. Oh, y'all talking to each other. Sent them to Clifton. He was supposed to give them to you. Oh, what was I supposed to give to Brandon? Which Parkers? Yeah, y'all get that for you. I remember we read that after I'd already met with him. So yeah, we'll talk about that offline. That's like a work call. This is not a work call. We also, one of the coolest things he tried was be able to compare 1973 Eagle Rare to the new one. That's awesome. By the way, what's up, Stanley Wagner Jr.? I know you said you had an Instagram live earlier. I think I missed it, so I got to catch that. So, all we know about this one is it is, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Finish and Cabernet Cask. So, some info they give me. Maybe more info is out there about it. But let's go and give it a taste. Or a nose. Let's go and nose it first. It is very different. Now, they do say this is a high rye mash bill. This is not the same mash bill as the regular 1792. There's a good bit of fruit forwardness on the nose. Not like the banana fruit that we were getting on the 1792. Oh, yeah, the orange curacao. Yeah, Patrick, I'll bring that to Brandon when I see him next. Yeah, thank you for sending that. Yeah, so it kind of has the kind of bread, baked bread note that I was getting, kind of like a banana nut bread. But this isn't necessarily banana. All I know is this one is more really bright fruits. Maybe a little cherry. I mean, it is Cabernet. Usually those bring out those brighter fruits. Usually you expect kind of like a dark, like a raspberry, but I'm not getting that really on the nose. Yeah, really bright and fruit forward. So let's go ahead and give it a taste. Cheers, guys. Ooh, that's it's tart. The finish goes a little, not sour, but almost kind of like the feeling that you just had a sip of wine and it's kind of still clinging to your tongue. I get a bit of that. It kind of reminds me of a sweet vermouth kind of note, almost like a Manhattan. Yeah, there's sweeter wine. Honestly, it tastes sweeter than I would expect a Cabernet finish to taste. I gotta have a second sip of that. That's really interesting. Although the one I'm most excited to try is the Chardonnay, because that one sounds so cool. I have never had a Chardonnay finished anything. I've had plenty of port stuff, but never Chardonnay. So, but I want to give this one another shot. Thanks, Brandon shared the tasting notes there. Yeah, they gave me those, but I like to not like read off tasting notes before I try it. But I mean, I was focusing on the finish, and I probably shouldn't approach it that way. I need to focus on the whiskey itself first. The whiskey itself is very, very good. Yes, it's, you would expect with a release like this it to be higher proof. At least I would. But it is, I mean, it's around 100, so it's not, too low proof. Whiskey is pretty standard. I think the finish on this one is really, it kind of overshadows the whiskey itself. So maybe with some of these other ones I can pull out more of the whiskey notes, but this one, the first thing I got was that tartness, that sweetness, that bright red fruit. And I guess red fruit is the word I would describe it as. Again, I'm not the most versed in finish like terms, but I always like to say bright fruit or dark fruit. So to me, it's more bright. Now they do say in their description here, they do say dark fruit. So maybe, this is just because this is the first one of the night. I'm not pulling that out. But I get like a cherry sweetness. Not like a medicinal cherry either. It's not like an off-putting cherry at all. Donnie says he's seen Cabaret for Cabernet. Does it say mash? It does not, but it does say high rye. So Fred makes a good point. Fred does say that it says regular 1792 is high rye at 18%. Although they do have an even higher rye one. Yeah, so see, that's what I tried to do some research on this, Fred. So every time I searched Barton high rye, the only thing that came up was the 1792 high rye, which is a very specific mash bill release of 1792. So I don't actually know. I tried finding where they referred to 1792 in general as a high rye mash bill. Could not find that. So my guess is it's different than 1792. It definitely tastes a bit different. It has more of the spice to it versus like the banana funk that I was getting on the bottle and bond 1792. So it's kind of up in the air. I just know based on what they're telling me, it's high rye. No idea what that means. They don't tell you the mash bill. What's up, Donald Rant? Good to see you here, man. So now that I've kind of gotten familiar a bit with that whiskey, I'm getting more of the baked note that I was getting on the whiskey itself, the 1792 bottled and bond. It is not necessarily like sometimes when I say baked note, I'm referring to like a dessert, like a really sweet dessert. I'm still not getting that. To me, it's still more of like a nut bread, not necessarily banana nut bread, but like a nut bread. So it's not fully sweet, but it does have some sweetness baked in there. Get it baked in there. I'll be here all night. I'm just kidding. I'll only be here for another 35 minutes. But I will be in the after party. Not all night either. Y'all know me. I tap out pretty early. All right, so we can revisit this. I have plenty of it to go around. By plenty of it to go around, I mean I just had this little bottle, but I mean I can revisit it. It's not like I have a mini little bottle. By the way, did you guys see Chad and Sarah from It's Bourbonites video on today? Or was it yesterday? I think it was today. They don't usually upload on Thursdays, but it was the last drop. They got sent a media sample of the last drop, which is like a $4,600 whiskey from Buffalo Trace. Now, I will be honest, this is the first time the Sazerac company has ever sent me a sample to review, so maybe next year I'll get that last drop. But for now, I'm very happy with this one. I did not mention, but the MSRP on these is $69.99. So this isn't too expensive. Now, I don't know how available they're going to be. Like I said, I haven't seen them on the shelves, and I missed if anyone said they saw it. I don't think anyone here said they've seen it yet, but yeah, let me know if y'all have seen it. What's up, Chris and Juan and Zopher? I already said hey to Zopher. Chris and Juan, what's up, guys? Miss you guys. They're part of my local group here. Not like no, Donnie, not that kind of baked. There is no hemp or marijuana note or anything on these whiskeys. Although there is a hemp finished or hemp flavored whiskey. I've seen it. I don't know if it's California exclusive. Have not bought it. I have no desire to have that one. It's not. They're also a hop flavored one for beer lovers. I don't know. That's a little weird to me. I'm okay. I'll stick to my wine finishes for now. Yeah, so $69.99. Nice. Yes, that's MSRP. So no idea what we're gonna actually see them for. So Marshall Copeland says, how did you get these samples? So these were actually sent to me by the distillery. I reached out to them after receiving the press release. They had a few of the samples left, so they were very generous to offer them to me to review here on the channel. So you gotta try with Sazerac and like Buffalo Trace. You gotta try your luck. Basically, it's the luck of the draw. It's not like they're gonna they don't have a mailing list like a lot of other distilleries do. It's more of like a first come first serve kind of thing. It's kind of crappy, but Brandon says, of course, California would have a hemp whiskey. Well, I actually discovered, so there's a channel on YouTube. Now, I haven't actually watched their stuff, but their name is like, there's another guy that's come to our chat before named Buds, but there's a YouTube channel here called Buds and Bourbon. Now, I don't know if they're like smoking weed and drinking bourbon, because if they are, that's kind of cool. It's a very unique thing I haven't seen. I know a lot of people do cigars and bourbon, so maybe they've tried it. I don't know. Check out their channel and find out. Now, full disclaimer, I've never watched their channel, so hopefully they're not like a very offensive channel or anything like that. Take my recommendation at face value. Steven says it'll make content. Maybe, hey, you know what? I need to do another fun stream like that where I try some really weird shit. Like, I've loved picking up the randomest, like, I don't want to say worst products, but I've loved trying the really odd, really strange things. So, you know what? Maybe later this year. 2021 is I'm calling it my year on this channel. I already have so many guests lined up. I'm so excited for all the awesome things we're going to do here. And it's all thanks to you guys and my patrons. I mean, of course, our Patreon is inflated a little because I have my Bourbon Daddy this month, but we are at over $300 on Patreon, which is awesome. That really does help support the channel. When I'm not sent media samples, which is very rarely, I do end up having to purchase all of my bottles that I review. So appreciate y'all so much each month giving back, and each and every super chat that comes through during these live streams. I know y'all may think it's like, oh, he doesn't care about super chats. Oh, I do. Y'all really do mean the world to me. So just want to say cheers to you guys. This is the port cask. I should probably tell you about it before I drink it, though. Because I like putting little chapter markers in my streams like afterwards, so people that are watching the replay can skip ahead. So chapter marker right now. What time are we at? I don't even know what time we're at. Do the little clapboard thing. All right, so this is Thomas S. More Port Cask Finish. Now this one's a different proof. This one is 98.9 proof. Now, 1792, they do a lot of weird things with their proof. I don't know if they stand by certain percentages. I don't know why they do it, but you know what? I'll trust them with this. This is their port cask. Now, what they tell you about it here on the website and the press release, they do say, Donnie says, look out, 2021 Bourbon Bites taking over. So, so the port cask is described as having a taste that is soft and sweet, with subtle hints of vanilla and baking spices. It doesn't really tell you much about it. It doesn't tell you about the finish. They don't tell you anything about the age. So again, we know it's 1 to 3 years finished in the port cask. That's all we know. Oh, wow. That smells really good. Now, a lot of people are opposed. What are you guys thinking about port finished bourbons? Because I know a lot of people do like port finished ryes, like Midwinter's Night Dram from High West. But I know there's a bit of disdain for port finish when it comes to bourbon. Have you guys had any that are weird or any that you love? Curious to hear, because I don't think I've really had... I really can't recall if I've had any port finished bourbons. Now, I probably have. Y'all are going to point out, but you just reviewed that one. I'm like, oh yeah. Exactly, I knew that. So, what's up, Joseph Brazo? And Heather Starkey. Sorry, I missed you come in. Trev Wilson says, I'm about to craft a very professional email to get these dang media samples. Trev, you gotta do it. I mean, I went the longest time without reaching out because I was like, nah, my channel's not big enough. No one's gonna send me anything. But a lot of these distilleries, especially some of the smaller ones, are more than happy to get their name out there. By the way, speaking of which, thanks for the little segue. On last Tuesday, I uploaded a review of St. George Spirits Baller. Now, this is a single malt whiskey that is finished in Japanese fermented plum wine liqueur casks. It's a crazy one. So if y'all missed that, I would love if y'all could go check that out. Leave a comment, because that was also one that was sent to me from the distillery. It's not doing too well on views, which is understandable. It's a really weird one. It's a California distillery. But if y'all want to, at the end of the stream, go make a note to go watch that and just leave a nice comment. It really does help. It really helps out with things that I'm sent to review, because if they see that they send me something and then like no one watches it, then it's like, why even send them anything? But would love if you guys could go check that out after the stream. But let's go ahead and now that I've talked about this whiskey, let's go ahead and try it. Emily says she loves port and red finishes. Yeah, I just I can't think of any offhand. I mean, I know Barrel probably does something like that, right? Marshall says, I have a good port finished rye. I'm not big on port finished bourbon. That's what I hear a lot of. Bubble Bath Bourbon says, plenty of port finished single malts, not so much bourbons. Yeah, oh yeah. In the Scotch world, port rules. There are so many port finishes. Nick P makes a great point. When it's done well, it's great, but sometimes it can take a turn in the wrong direction. You know what? I have had a port finish. Thank you, Babes of Bourbon. First pour of the Woodinville port seems pretty good to us. I forgot about that. Actually, Patrick sent me that bottle, I believe, It was either Patrick or Joseph Brazo. Those are the two Woodinville guys. I don't remember which one sent to me. I think it was Patrick, but could have been Joseph. Joseph, it's been so long since we've swapped samples. We need to do that again here, man. Chris says that Angels Envy bourbon and rye are port finished. I've only had the rye, which is the Caribbean casks. I have not had the bourbon though. Sorry, I thought I saw a question for me. Oh, Brandon asked me something. Hold on one second. He said, where is that random distillery located in California? So they are based in Alameda, California. The St. George because they do a lot of gins, they do some brandies, but they definitely have made a name for themselves with Baller. All right, so on the nose, I love the nose on this. Already, I think the nose beats the Cabernet. Joseph, just hit me up on Facebook. I'll send that to you. Yeah, the Cabernet, the nose falls a bit flat. It does have that tartness, that tanginess, but the port on the nose, it smells really, really good. So I'm excited to see, did they do it well? Like Nick said, it's hit or miss. So cheers, guys. Ooh, I like this a lot. Wow, that's like a whole different classification of a product compared to the Cabernet. The Cabernet, it's like a light aspect of the wine on the finish kind of overshadows the bourbon. I mean, overall it feels very light. The port though is like punches you. I cannot believe that is only 98.9 proof. This drink's like at least like 110 proof, I would guess. It smells delicious. It tastes delicious. I gotta go for a second sip. Delicious. I honestly, I'm not like just saying that. I would buy a bottle. I mean, for $70, absolutely, I would buy a bottle of this. I would probably personally pass up the Cabernet just after tasting that, realizing how good that port is. It doesn't overtake it. It works really well. It's really balanced with the bourbon. You still get those vanilla notes on the bourbon more so than you get on the Cabernet one, but it transitions really nicely and easily, like I guess steadily is probably better, into that sweet wine. Really, really bright, sweet wine. Not necessarily the same kind of fruity notes. Let me see if I can pull out some specific notes there. Where I thought the Cabernet was cherry, that's cherry, and that is like a fresh, not a fresh cherry, but some of the craft distilleries have been putting out some cocktail cherries. Traverse City is one that I've talked about on a stream next week. I'm going to be making, by the way, I'm going to be making a cocktail with their cherries at the beginning of that stream. So stay tuned for some cocktail recipes too. You never know. You never know what I'll do at 4 p.m. Pacific. I may start with a cocktail. I may end with a cocktail. We'll see. But that is like a nice, I guess, brandied cherry is what you would call it. But super, super well balanced, super well rounded. I mean, it really rounds out that vanilla sweetness. It kind of isn't necessarily in the banana nut bread territory. This is still more like a, I don't really have a whiskey I can compare this to. I don't think, my instinct is to go to the High West Midwinter's Night Dram. But even that, it's like very rye spice. This doesn't have the spiciness. I would say the Cabernet is a bit spicier than this one. This one, though, is very, very, what do they say it is? Now, soft and sweet with subtle hints of vanilla and baking spice. Yes, please. I will have some more of that one. I love that one. Absolute favorite so far. Now, I saw a comment earlier. Bud said, bourbon finish in Chardonnay barrel sounds disgusting. I think it sounds weird. But you know what? I'm here for the weird. Hopefully y'all are here for the weird too. Y'all are following my channel. Speaking of which, I didn't mention my shirt, but this is part of my limited edition merch available at bourbonbites.threadless.com. If you're curious, I have that and a few other designs as well. Definitely get them if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Like I said, I threw up all the ways however you guys want to support me. I appreciate every single bit that you guys support. Even if, you're just a $2 patron, you really mean the world to me. So, with that, I'll stop praising y'all. I won't stop praising y'all. I'll stop gushing about how much I love y'all and move on to the Chardonnay, since y'all seem very curious about that one. Adriana says that port sounds yummy. It's ordered for her state, so excited to try it. Yeah, I don't know when these are going to hit California, but I am keeping an eye out for that one. I'm going to finish off the Cabernet and then pour the Chardonnay. I'm a bit let down with the Cabernet. I love Cab wine. That's my. I mean, when I'm not joking about it being Franzia, which I mean, I do love the Cabernet from Franzia. I do buy slightly nicer Cabernets every now and then. Now I know Chris Kilrain, who's he's here. He just left a comment. He's like a wine sommelier, like a legit one or something like that. So Chris, you and I need to talk wine. I know you said before you have some recommendations. I usually buy wines under $20 just because it's really just two of us sitting here drinking it. I don't throw dinner parties or anything that have wine readily available. So I really love exploring wine, but just when I'm at home, I mean, there's nothing better than just pouring this into your mouth directly. Just kidding. I don't do that. Maybe. All right, so let's go ahead and let me rinse my glass real quick before moving on. Steven, maybe on the hangout, we'll see. All right, so I'm gonna just rinse the glass real quick before pouring the Chardonnay, because that one's gonna be an interesting one. Oh, what's up, Jason? Jason Coates and Chris, welcome. Generally, people start telling people that they love everyone when they drink wine. Hey, I did start out with a sip of wine, so you know what? It may have just been a sip. But you're right, Adriana. I don't do that. Cliffy does. And Chris says plenty of great wine for less than $20. So maybe we'll do a wine stream. Chris, maybe you can come over sometime after COVID and bring some wines. We'll do a wine stream. That'd be really weird, but you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for the weird, as we were just saying. So let me go ahead and pour the Chardonnay casks. I love that bubble bath. He says, who drinks it from the box? You got to pour it in a Camelback. Oh man, that sounds like the perfect hiking trip myself. Although, except for the point where you realize it's way too strenuous of a hike and you didn't pack any water, you just put wine in your bag, that might be a problem. I made the mistake when I came out here to LA. One of the first things I did was like, I'm going to be cool and do what everyone in LA does and go on a hike. And I picked one that was like low to moderate difficulty. Definitely lean more towards the moderate because that was like uphill, rough terrain, rocks, dirt. And stupid me didn't bring anything. I literally just parked my car and walked up that hill. Got about more than about 3/4 of the way, maybe a bit more up it. And then like the final stretch was really, really steep. And I was like, you know what? I'm like panting. I'm out of breath. I don't have any water. This is a mistake. This will be a mistake if you continue on. So I unfortunately backed down. And let's be honest, haven't been hiking since. Now, I've been walking on like trails and stuff, but not hiking. So I'm just not fit. The South Carolina boy is not fit for hiking in California. I'll tell you that. So, wine stream sounds fun. Yeah, I'm here for it. So this is the Chardonnay cask finish. Now this one comes in at 97.9 proof. So a little. Is this the lowest proof of them all? No. It's a bit more than the Cabernet, but less than the port. Bubble Bath Bourbon says that's literally everyone's first hike. Yeah, I just thought I could do more than I could. So I'll learn for next time. So they described this one as having a rich taste with notes of citrus, tropical fruit, and buttery oak. Now I did watch Fred Minnick's review of this beforehand, and he just like fangirled over the. I don't want to say fangirled. Is that rude? I don't know. I don't mean it in a rude way. He fanned out about the buttery note. He loved that. So I don't think I've ever really gotten a buttery note on a bourbon. I've had some like really thick mouthfeels, which is what I'm thinking maybe he was talking about. But I'm really curious to see what I get on this one. On the nose. Oh, that's odd. Okay, I gotta go for a second one. Second sniff of that. I would say lemon zest, or like the lemon, like the lemon peel. I guess it's lemon zest. I say I'm a cocktail guy, but I don't make fancy cocktails myself. I just enjoy fancy cocktails myself. Definitely like the lemon, like shavings, I guess is the zest. A good bit of that, and almost it goes a little like, I would say orange, but it's not really even like. It's like okay, this is gonna be weird. It's like the skin of a lemon, but the juice of an orange. So it tastes more. It smells more like an orange juice versus than like a freshly like expressed orange peel. Really bright. I feel like I've been saying bright about all of these, but this is not like a bright red fruit that I was getting with the other two. It's very. I mean, it honestly doesn't really smell like a specific wine finish, which again, I've never had a white wine finished whiskey. That's just so odd to me. But again, I love when distilleries try new things, and this is the first Chardonnay finish I've ever heard of. Now, some of you guys may be more familiar with scotches. So, are there any scotches that are Chardonnay finish? I haven't seen them, but I imagine there may be, or even like crap, even like cognacs. There's gotta be someone else that uses Chardonnay finishes in the world. Mash and Drum just says butter. Yeah, it's definitely butter on the. I don't know about on the nose, but I'm very curious to see how it tastes because that's what Fred said it was. Oh, what's up? David Goldman says Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, David. Yeah, but speaking of which, by the way, if anyone missed my New Year's Eve stream, it was so much fun. I had like at one point I had like 12 channels on at once. It was crazy because I had to like some people had left and then yeah. I know streamer limits to 10, but we were like flipping out people at the end there. So if you missed my New Year's Eve stream, that was a ton of fun. I had so many really cool people on, so go check that out. It's definitely a good way to ring in the end of 2020. Joseph said he used to be a wine geek when he ran restaurants. Interesting. Oh, Chris says he thinks Bruichladdich does a Chardonnay finish. Interesting. I've just gotten into Bruichladdich. I had a barrel strength or a cask strength independent bottling of them that's really, really delicious. Is it Glen Moray? I always say Glen Moray, but I think I'm getting confused with Glenmorangie. Glen Moray. Oh, Joseph said Woodinville just did a Chardonnay gas. Maybe it's catching on. Maybe it's the new trendy thing. Master Drum says a few scotches, or sorry, he said a few Irish whiskeys use a Chardonnay finish. Interesting. I gotta see this. Well, we'll see. If I enjoy this, then I gotta seek some of those out. I've only nosed it so far. Let's go ahead and taste it. Cheers, guys. Odd. Weird. I know I said I'm here for the weird, but so to me, all I'm really getting from that, like at least on first sip, all I'm getting on the finish is like an oak, like a dry oakiness. It does have a bit of like an orange, like almost like an old fashioned. There's some of that orange essence there on the palate, but that's definitely the weirdest one. Let me go ahead and try the second sip of that one. It drinks hot, which is good. I like how the second one drinks hot. This drinks hot too. I guess I get the butter. I get the butter now. There's definitely some richness on the mouthfeel of it. No, it doesn't taste like you just like had a Pauladine dollop of butter, but it does have some richness on the mouthfeel there. I still am having difficulty finding like what specifically impact it has on the finish. It's like I said, it's like just like a kind of like a tannic kind of oak that I'm not really loving. And I want to like it because I'm like, this is so interesting and so unique. But all I'm finding is like tannic wood and a bit of orange on that one. I mean, especially compared to the port. The port is such a sweet, sweet wine finish, well-rounded, balanced. This though, it's almost a bit malty, I would say. It reminds me of like a malt, like even like, you know, on the nose, would I say it's a bourbon? No, probably not. It's got that rich oak element, but it does have some kind of maltiness. A Pauladine dollop of butter. Yeah, well, I will admit, my husband watches Pauladine recipe videos on YouTube like all the time. He doesn't ever make them. He just watches them because he likes hearing her talk. It reminds him of back home. And also, she's a character. I'll just say you laugh with her and you laugh at her half the time. But it's still fun to watch. Huh. All right, let's go in. Let's give it another try. Otherwise, I'm going back to the port because I love that port so much. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a very good whiskey. I think it's approachable. I think it is balanced. Don't get me wrong. I think the Cabernet was the least balanced, but I feel like it overshadowed the whiskey. This one, I don't think it overshadows it. However, I don't like necessarily how it complements it. It brings up more of the wood tannins to it. Would I buy this one at $70? maybe this one. I mean, honestly, this one's definitely a second place for me. Um, I think the port definitely is my top one, so, from first impressions. Again, haven't had these before. These are first impressions. Port is my top one. Chardonnay is second, but like not close second. It's like further back second. Chardonnay and Cabernet are pretty close. So do I? And I'll pour a little bit more of the Cabernet since I've been talking about it, just to see if maybe I like it a little bit more on second sip after tasting all of these through. Oh, so Steven asked, oh, sorry, that was loud. Steven asked, have you had aged port? I should send you some by itself. No, that's something I've mentioned before. I've never had port or sherry on their own. Like, literally, I've never had, like, the dessert wines. I would love to try them, Steven, as samples, or honestly, I may just go to Costco at some point and buy some. But I've just never had any of them. And I kind of know what a port finish does to a whiskey, but I feel like until I actually have the port itself, I'm not going to fully understand that. So I would absolutely love to try those. And sherry too, honestly. I've not had any sherry. I'm just going to be honest. I've never had any of those wines by themselves. I went straight to the bourbon and went straight to the finished stuff. So, oh my God, Jason, I just saw your comment. He said, a dollop is not in her vocabulary. That woman drops a pound of butter. Oh yeah, it's like 3 sticks of butter in the recipe when it normally only calls for like half a stick. Yeah, but you know, Southern women, they just love their butter. All right. So, and then 2 shots of vodka. I love that video. All right, so let me go back to the Cabernet real quick, just to revisit it, because I want to let you guys know which one I prefer, the Cabernet or the Chardonnay, because I was not really impressed by the Chardonnay. I'm a little bummed. I wanted that one to be the good one. Oh, does port typically have a high ABV? I didn't realize that. So it's like, is it higher than my Franzia? What is this? Wait, what's the ABV? I know it's on here. I just saw it earlier. Oh, there it is. 12. Is it higher than my 12.5% Franzia? Because if so, I'm in. Now, going back to the nose on the Cabernet, I'm appreciating it a bit more. Maybe because I just didn't like the Chardonnay one, I guess. I'm going to try it again. I do feel like on revisiting it after tasting through these 2 other products, I kind of want to backtrack a little bit on saying that it wasn't balanced. It is balanced. It's honestly, I mean, it's the lowest proof. It is the most drinkable of all of these, but I still think the finish overtakes the whiskey. I'm not getting the whiskey notes. I'm just getting that bright, tangy wine note. Yeah, I don't particularly love that one. So I still gotta say, my order is still port number 1. Port. I mean, I got some more of my port here. I'd give 2 thumbs up if I could. That port is fantastic. If you see the port finished Thomas S. More, absolutely grab it. Now, I honestly would say, if you could get them for $70 and you've never had them, give them a try. I mean, the Chardonnay or the Cabernet, especially if you've had other products that are finished in these casks that you like, they may be more for you. Maybe not necessarily my flavor profile, but they may be yours. But I do think it's really cool that this is going to be a new annual release. So I'm excited what 2021 brings with the Thomas S. More brand. What do you guys think? What do you guys think they're going to finish with this year? Gosh, if 2021 is as weird as 2020, who knows? They might do some absinthe cask finish for all I know. What finish would you guys like to see? Let's give them some ideas. What kind of experimental finishes do you want to see on a bourbon? Let me know. And while you let me know that, I think a fun way to round out the night, I still have some of this 1792 Bottle and Bond. So I also have some more of this Cabernet. Maybe I could do my own little experiment and see if I add a little cab to my bourbon. Can I make a better product than the Thomas S. More Cabernet? Now, I mean this in jest, obviously. I'm not going to try to say I'm like as good as a master distiller. But it was still a fun experiment. So we're going to try that out. So let's go ahead and do my own little blending experiment. Just since we're in our last 10 minutes, why not? The Cabernet, you know what? That Cabernet and Chardonnay are really, really close. You could catch me on a different day, and I may prefer the Cabernet over the Chardonnay, but I still think port blows them both away. Just that's my final comment. I have done a wine float cocktail. I've done a New York sour that floats the red wine on top of a whiskey sour. Fuck it. I'll just finish off this. We're about to go into the after party. Cliffy needs to make an appearance. All right, so we got the Bottle and Bond 1792 there. So I tried making my own New York sour, and I don't think I got the proportions right. I would love to order one in a bar and try a legit one that's actually like crafted for me, not just me being like, oh, I'm gonna pour some wine on this drink, you know. Joseph Brazo with the warning saying a little wine goes a long way. Well, thank you for the heads up, Joseph. It's gonna be kind of hard for me to pour this. I wish I had my second camera up so you guys can see, but we're just gonna go for it. I did not bring a napkin, so we have some wine spillage. Let's go ahead and try it though. Oof. It might have been it might have been a little much, but it's okay. It's okay. I just was trying to avoid spilling it all over my desk because I know I would make a big mess. So this it's a little dark. It's a little dark. I feel like I'm that meme, that girl that's like, what is she reacting to, like the official one? I don't know what she's reacting to officially. Is it kombucha or something? They call it like kombucha girl. You know? I don't hate that. I actually think that's really interesting. Now, do I recommend trying this at home? Maybe. Let's try it. Zover said that did not sound like drops. No, that was like... y'all know me. I can't do a little bit. I always go overboard. I don't know why I keep making that face, but damn. I drink that. It is like a cocktail. A really strong cocktail. Like a cocktail that hasn't been watered down at all. A taxi tail. I've never heard of that before, but why is it called that? I'm sure there's a reason for that. Oh, thank you so much, Donnie. Donnie gave the link to join the Patreon. Like I said, $10 and up gets you access to our weekly after party hangout. But like I said, we're doing the $5 and up hangout on not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So cheers. Thank you. Yeah, if anyone wants to join, I do want to make sure I don't miss any, because y'all know what I almost did on Saturday. I almost missed getting a $100 Patreon member. I would not have called out Aaron for becoming my bourbon daddy if he hadn't sent me a super chat as well that said check Patreon. So I always got to make sure I check that before the end of the stream, because I would feel real awful if someone became a patron and I didn't give them a shout out. So yeah, so I mean, I guess it's time to wrap it up, but that's damn good. I might do this more often. Don't tell any of the whiskey or wine sommeliers what I've done, but I'm here for it. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna wrap it up. Do y'all have any last minute questions or thoughts or experiments you want me to know? Save the experiments for the after party. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me here this Thursday evening. Like I said, next Thursday we are doing a very, very special early stream at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Time with Chris Fredrickson of Traverse City Whiskey. Patrons get some extra access to our other upcoming streams, because we got some really other fun ones coming up soon. Chris has splashed some port in your bourbon. I don't have any port. I wish I did. Steven might be getting me some port samples. We'll see. I do want to say I'm also going live on Saturday. So I will be drinking Hotel Tango bourbon and rye, thanks to amazing Patreon supporter Patrick and Heather Starkey. They sent me some samples of Hotel Tango. I will also be playing some war-focused video games. So I'm going to leave it to y'all to give me some suggestions. Y'all can give me some here in the chat now of what war-focused video game I can play. Yes, it can be Call of Duty, but it can also be some classic games. It could be arcade games that are like war-focused. I love arcade games. But I'm going to put a poll on Patreon once I get some suggestions, whether from you guys and from Discord and everything like that. So give me some suggestions. What war games do you want to see me play? Then I'll just say this: the newer it is, the more difficult, not the more difficult. The newer it is, the worse I'll be at it. So give me your best shot. But until next time, this has been Bourbon Bites Whiskey Reviews with a gaming twist. I'm Clifton, and I'll see y'all at the after party. And if not, I'll see you on Saturday with some Hotel Tango whiskey. Oh God, I'm so not a man. All right, cheers, you guys. See you soon.